Hi, a good Thursday lunchtime to you. Mark here from Exel. And tomorrow, the new October decanter is out. And in it, the lead panel tasting is South American Syrah. We have here two of the leading wines in that panel, or the top four outstanding wines. Two of those four. One is not available in the UK, the other is £45. So we have here the two wines that are respectively £12.95 and £21.50. They are definitely more Syrah than Shiraz in style, in that they have structure, they have tannins, they have an acidity still to them, a freshness, which makes them, in my view at least, more Syrah than Shiraz. That said, they are New World, they do see a great deal of ripeness, and therefore an awful lot of that Australian hit value, if you like, is there in these wines as well. They are fascinating. They are in many ways quite different and in many ways quite similar. It's possible when you're trying to make distinctions between two wines like this to make them sound terribly different, but actually they are fundamentally of the same grape and from similar approaches of being made in quite cool climate parts of South America. And so actually they are quite similar, and so I will be highlighting the differences between them. In highlighting those differences, I wouldn't want to stress that they are massively different, because I don't think they are. They are, however, both fantastic and thoroughly likeable. So this one, the Salvalle, is from Emiliana. It's made in Casablanca in northern Chile. Normally an area for white wines, very cool climate. And the interesting thing, there are many interesting things about this wine, but one of them is that it's seasonal oak. And normally that would be a bit of a red rag to making you think, well, no oak, is it actually any good? But it's a fascinating wine. On the nose, it's very big on the nose. And what's very unusual about it is it's very black on the nose. I mean, you get a sniff of that. That is all blackcurrant. And there's so much blackcurrant that I think that would be taken in on the nose into thinking that was Cabernet Sauvignon. It also has, and it's quite unusual, a sort of cedarwood, sandalwood smell. The sort of thing that you normally expect from quite a lot of oak aging, but it's not that. It's clearly from the spice in the Syrah. Very delicious on the nose, very big, powerful nose. Tasted, it is very medium. It's a big wine. It's not truly huge. It is, to make the point again, not an Australian Shiraz. But it's a mouth filler. It's got immediacy to it. It's got acidity to it. It crackles a bit. It's a young wine, and yet there is a mouthfeel and a solidity to that, which is absolutely glorious. It's a very good wine on its own. It doesn't need food to go with it at all. It's just one of those grab for comfort wines in a way, and it's lovely. It's absolutely great. At £12.95, for that is the £12.95 of the two, it's fantastic. It's interesting to put out the difference between this. It is a Chilean wine. The other, which we're about to taste, is an Argentinian, and yeah, I mean the differences are interesting in that this one comes in a Macon bottle, the Argentine in a Bordeaux bottle. They've made the differences easy to see. This is definitely the more immediate of the two. Very likeable. If we turn to Argentina, this is the Terciopelo, made by Finca Las Glicinas. This is quite complicated geographically. They are from this wine at least, is from Paraya Altamira, which is part of the Uco Valley. It's actually part of the San Carlos part of Uco Valley. Uco Valley being to the south of the Mendoza region. So some interesting geography in there. This, you'd have to say, is more classic in style. It's a fraction lighter in colour. On the nose, it is lighter. It's more floral. It's more lifted. It's more red fruit. I mean, there's black fruit in there. There's plum. There's bramble. But it's not quite so dense, quite so cassis on the nose, you'd say. It's more enigmatic. You can immediately tell it's a more complex wine. And that complexity is going to come from the fact that this has seen oak. It's seen 18 months in old oak, American and French oak, and then it's seen some bottle time as well, which is why it's still on its way to us at this point in time. This will be with us in about 6 weeks. If you're thinking of buying this one, do take that on board. There are some pretty clear instructions on the website about what to do to make sure you get this. It is, yeah, it's glorious on the nose. It's a little more muted and yet at the same time very floral. It doesn't hit you, punch you on the nose as the Salvaille does. It's in the mouth that you spot that this is a better crafted, better made wine in a way. And it is more classic. I think I described it as being a little bit like a very good Rioja Reserva in that there is a smoothness, a suppleness, a softness to that wine. The oak has tamed it a little more. It hasn't taken it down too much. The fruit is still there. There is bite, there is acidity, the tannins are still great. But it is just a little softer. There is just a touch of that sort of Rioja-y smoothness to it. It's, I mean, you get a clue in the name. Terciopelo is Spanish for velvet. It's also the name of a particularly nasty snake, although I think that's not relevant here. And it's just a smoother mouthfeel. With food, that'll be fabulous. In fact, it's been tested extensively with food over the last couple of nights, and it works really well. It's a glorious wine. I think at £21.50, okay, it's more than the Salvaille, but actually it's worth it. You get that complexity, that extra depth to it, which I think of the two is the wine I would reach for every time. Maybe if I wanted some immediate comfort, go for the Salvaille. This, on the other hand, is the classier wine. Terciopelo, really likeable. Both great wines, both thoroughly likeable and enjoyable. Philly Boots.